Superman just cannot beat this indestructible immortal man powered by kryptonite. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to subscribe so I can keep on posting more videos daily for you guys. The story begins during a regular day at the city of Metropolis. All the journalists are gathered because Lex Luthor has invited everyone to the inauguration of his new museum. Lois Lane says that thanks to this museum, Lex's popularity will increase significantly, and the smartest man in the world says that all those journalists are very lucky as they were the first ones to see what's inside this museum. While everyone was talking about it, we see that a hole has been opened on the floor of the museum. Clark Kent could hear the noise of the explosion thanks to his super hearing. He then used his X-ray vision and discovered that two men were breaking into the museum to steal stuff. One of the men was afraid of a gigantic dinosaur. Meanwhile, outside, Lois Lane asks Lex Luthor if it's true that he's only building that museum in order to get some tax breaks for his company, but that question made Lex really angry. When the woman looked to the other side, Clark Kent had already disappeared. Those thieves were inside the museum, ready to steal the world's largest diamond. Luckily, the museum's security system was powerful enough to prevent that from happening, but one of those men has got rubber gloves to finish the job. At the same time, Superman used a sewer entrance to get under the museum and found the place where the thieves exploded the ground. Both of them had already the diamond in their hands and wondered how much that was worth. Superman then arrived and said that for those thieves, that diamond was only worth 10 years in prison. For some reason, the two thieves thought that it would be a good idea to try and beat Superman, an invulnerable alien, but they quickly discovered that there was no way to win. They then tried to run away, but Superman is too fast. He always appears in front of them and tells them he could keep it up all day if he wanted to, but suddenly started feeling a little bit under the weather. The superhero fell right to the ground in front of the thieves. They didn't understand what was happening, and one of them even wanted to help Superman, but the other one was a lot smarter and said that they had to run away from that place immediately. After a while, Superman managed to crawl away, and meanwhile outside, Lex ordered his museum to finally be open to the public. But as soon as the doors opened, Superman came out and Lois Lane ran to help him. He told her that two thieves had broken inside the museum and they stole the jewels. Superman couldn't do anything about it. Lex called the security guards and then he started a fight with Superman. He said that the next time the superhero finds one of Lex's museums being robbed, he should notify the police instead of trying to do something about it. Superman then flew away and we see that Lex went straight to his company. He wanted to analyze the museum's footage and discovered who the two thieves were. After that, he ordered his employee, a woman named Mercy, to eliminate the both of them. And after that, while he was watching the footage, he saw the moment that Superman fainted. Upon a closer analysis of what was happening, Lex realized that Superman only fainted because he got too close to some rocks. This is the biggest discovery in history. Lex possesses rocks that could defeat the strongest man in the world. After that, we see Clark Kent. He went to the museum to observe those rocks to try and understand what happened the previous day, but he found it very strange because when he got close to the rocks, nothing actually happened. A man approached and said that he preferred the rocks that were there the day before. Clark didn't understand what he meant, and the man who works at that museum said that last night some other men who work for Lex arrived at that place and removed those rocks. The originals were taken out of the museum. We see that Lex was with some scientists analyzing the rocks. They are pieces of meteorite, and the composition of the materials on these meteorites do not exist on the periodic table. They believe that those meteorites originated from an alien solar system, and Lex is eager to test those meteorites on Superman himself. The scientists must finish the work in under an hour, but one of them told Lex that he still couldn't realize what those rocks really are. are. Lex doesn't care about it. In fact, he knows very well what those rocks are. They are the weapons he needed to completely defeat Superman. The scientist insists this rock would be much more valuable to humanity, but Lex says that the scientist works for him and shouldn't have opinions that don't benefit the company. After Lex left, we see that Lois Lane was trying to relax while working. Clark Kent appears to talk to her, and the woman says that throwing paper balls into a basket helps her relax in her free time. The woman is intrigued by the fact that Superman couldn't catch those two ordinary thugs who broke into the museum. Something must have happened to him. Her cell phone started ringing. It was one of the scientists who works for Lex Luthor. He has confidential information to pass on to the journalist. The man is holding a piece of that meteorite in his hands and wants to provide this evidence to the journalist. Right after that, we see that Lex Luthor and Mercy went to meet a thug who used to be a boxing champion. The man tried to impress Mercy with his muscles, but Lex warned him that she isn't so easily impressed. The woman then demonstrated all her skills, ripping off a punching bag with a simple kick. After that, Lex could talk business. He wanted to hire that man to do a job in Metropolis, and this job needs someone with the same experience as him. The man wants to know what kind of work he will have to do, but Lex is not gonna tell him yet. The only thing he says is that this man is the person he needs. After that, we see Clark Kent at a restaurant. The waitress almost fell to the ground, but Clark managed to grab her. At that moment, Lois Lane appeared. Clark Kent started feeling really bad. It was all because Lois Lane had a piece of that meteorite inside her bag. She took it out for him to see it, and as soon as Clark touched the rock, he felt intense pain and couldn't even hold it. He said he was just a little clumsy at that moment and asked Lois, "What's that rock?" She then explained that Lex Labs had obtained a piece of the meteorite, and it seems like it is capable of draining Superman's powers. A small piece like that could perhaps eliminate Superman once and for all. Clark is feeling unwell because of that rock, but she doesn't know it. After all, she doesn't know that he is Superman. Lois says that she will take that meteorite to Star Labs so Dr. Hamilton can analyze it. After she left, even the waitress realized that Clark was not feeling good. Meanwhile, we see that the political authorities of Metropolis were exchanging molds to produce a new dollar bill. Before the transaction was completed, criminals appeared to steal the mold, and the authorities had no choice. They handed over the briefcase containing the molds. Clark Kent saw the fire caused by the criminals. These thugs had already managed to escape that building. They were flying using jetpacks, but Superman appeared to stop them. One of them destroyed the helicopter that arrived at the building, and Superman had to accelerate to prevent it from crashing and killing many innocent people. The superhero then threw it into the sea and then continued following the thugs who flew away. A man was observing everything and warned Lex Luthor about everything that was going on. The criminals tried to attack Superman with flamethrowers, but the superhero approached the first one and destroyed his weapon. Then he captured him and led him tied to a flagpole. Lex is still being informed of everything that is happening, and one of the thugs managed to cover Superman with a kind of net, but the superhero easily got rid of those nets. Then he grabbed one of them and threw it at the criminal. He then left the man to a police officer to be arrested, and now only one of those thugs is left. He is holding the suitcase with the molds and went to a place marked by Lex Luthor himself. It was a building under construction. Lex says that he has to remember what they agreed to do. Everything is being recorded by security cameras, and when Superman arrived, the man decided to surrender, and Lex was watching everything. The thug said that he would hand over the briefcase with the molds, but it was only to get Superman to come closer. Superman approached and started feeling bad. The man took advantage of this to hit Superman, and then the former boxing champion managed to land several blows on Superman, but while he was landing these blows, Superman was moving away from the meteorite. The thug let his arrogance get the better of him, and Superman recovered some of his strength and managed to throw the man out of the building. The two of them fell into a river that ran below the building, and Lex was really angry. Mercy took the opportunity to retrieve the meteorite, and when Superman got out of the river, a sailor man approached and said that Superman didn't look so good. After that, we see that Lex Luthor ordered his employees to monitor the entrance to the Star Labs. He wants to know who enters and who leaves the building. One of his spies revealed that scientist Dr. Hamilton got a hold of a piece of the meteorite. That means Lex was betrayed by one of his employees. Lex wants to find out which one of them did it, and Mercy said she would find out, but before she could do it, Superman appeared. Lex went to talk to the superhero and said that he was really happy that he had appeared. The man has an offer to make to Superman. He says that as long as he has the rock in his hands, Superman will not be able to stop him. Lex, though, knows that Superman will never give up, and because of that, he wants to give Superman the opportunity to leave himself alone, so then he will lock the rock in a safe place and Superman will never have to worry about it again. But the Man of Steel said he doesn't negotiate with criminals. Lex says the offer was just a courtesy, but Superman went away, and after he left, Lex said since he can't control Superman, he will have to destroy him. We see that one of the employees observed when journalist Lois Lane arrived at Star Labs. She was with Dr. Hamilton while he conducted all the necessary tests on the piece of meteorite. At the end of these tests, the man was impressed and said that his theory was certainly correct. Superman appeared at that moment to ask what that theory was. Dr. Hamilton explained that Superman's body had something in common with that piece of meteorite. They both came from the same planet called Krypton, and the scientists even named the meteorite as kryptonite. The radiation emitted by this piece of meteorite may have been created at the moment the explosion destroyed Superman's home planet. The important part of this information is that there is a material on Earth capable of containing this radiation, and that material is lead. The doctor placed a piece of the meteorite inside a lead box and showed it to Superman. He can't even feel the effects of the meteorite because of it, and at that moment, Lois Lane received a call. He was the scientist who works for Lex Luthor. He said that the labs are developing a synthetic version of that green rock and she needs to inform Superman immediately. The scientist then arranged a meeting with the journalist at the museum. He will disable the entire security system and she'll be able to easily enter the building. When he hung up, we see that Lex Luthor was forcing the scientist to say everything he said. Since he already knows that Superman was present when Lois Lane received the call, Lex is sure that the Man of Steel will show up at the museum as well. Now, unfortunately for the scientist, Lex asked Mercy to take him home. This means she will kill him. At that moment, we see that Superman arrived at the museum with Lois Lane. He used his X-ray vision and discovered there were no traps. The two entered that place and had a terrible surprise. Lex had built a robotic dinosaur that contained a piece of kryptonite. After that, Lex sealed all the doors. Superman asked Lois to remove the piece of kryptonite, but she couldn't because of the dinosaur. The creature is being controlled by Lex Luthor remotely. Lois Lane is desperate. If only she had some lead with her, she could help Superman. And at that moment, the superhero himself remembered his last visit to the museum. The guide said that the chalice was made of lead and was responsible for poisoning many people from an ancient civilization. Superman knows he must put the kryptonite inside that chalice, but he's being attacked by the dinosaur and asked Lois to do it. She tried to grab the chalice but couldn't because of the security system. The dinosaur then tried to attack her. The woman fell to the ground and is about to be devoured. Superman cannot move properly because of the kryptonite. The dinosaur is getting closer, but while trying to escape, Lois accidentally found the meteorite and, using her basketball skills acquired by throwing paper balls at the trash can, Lois managed to dribble past the dinosaur and then threw the piece of kryptonite directly into the chalice. Thanks to this, Superman regained his strength and saved the journalist. He was then attacked by the dinosaur but managed to recover and then threw some bones from another dinosaur at the robotic dinosaur. This destroyed the creature and Superman destroyed the head with his bare hands. The dinosaur is completely out of commission and Superman crushes the chalice to contain the kryptonite radiation. Lex Luthor saw all this and got really mad. Superman thanked Lois for saving his life, and as a thank you, she asks for an exclusive interview. Superman agreed, but she can't say anything about the kryptonite, and after that, he threw the kryptonite with such force that he went into orbit. it. What Superman didn't know was that meanwhile, in the middle of a desert, some archaeologists have found pieces of a green rock that was also kryptonite. After that, on Stryker Island, a guard was taking dinner to a prisoner who was very rich. He could afford to pay the authorities to receive the best food in the world, and the guard wanted to know how the man could afford all those things. The man said the secret was to never undervalue a good friend and to always keep his mouth shut. Suddenly, the man began to feel unwell. The guard was worried, but the man said everything was going to be fine. He could leave the place. But as soon as the guard left, he heard a noise. When he came back, the man had fainted inside his cell. The prison doctor went to take a look at him, and the man was desperate. It turned out that he had contracted an extremely rare type of virus, and this virus caused an illness that will end his life in just a few weeks. This disease has no cure, but the doctor said there might be some kind of alternative treatment. The man wants to know what kind of treatment that would be, and the doctor told him that now he has to trust him because everything will be alright. The doctor has a certain friend who can help him, and the man was shocked because this man is the same friend that he has. We then see that the next day Clark Kent was having fun riding his bicycle around the city, and other cyclists had to overtake him. An old woman was mad because Clark was riding too slow. At that moment, saw two missiles heading towards the prison. They destroyed the walls, and a third missile appeared. Some prisoners were already escaping from the prison, but Superman went there. He managed to intercept the last missile, which exploded in the skies. Two prisoners had time to get a boat to escape from the prison, but Superman went there and removed the boat from the water. He returned the prisoners to the prison. Then he saw several other men escaping by sea. Superman borrowed a fishing net from a fisherman and captured all those men. After putting them back in the prison, Superman removed a piece of rock from the ground and covered the hole in the wall. He then left, but didn't realize that the man had escaped from the prison. He received help from the doctor and also from their friend. The man never thought he would be once again free. During the next scene, the man was in a lab and Lex Luthor was there. He says that this man always has been very loyal, and because of that, he will be given a reward. This is the only way to save his life, and the man needs to accept it. After everything is done, he will continue with the same appearances, but the insides of his body will be made entirely of a piece of metal. It won't be just any metal. His body will be made entirely of a metal known as metallo. That metal is completely indestructible, and to top it off, Lex shows that a kryptonite core will be installed inside his body. The man will become completely super powerful and will even be able to destroy Superman. This man has nothing left to lose. Then a doctor uses anesthesia to put the man to sleep, and they bring in his new body made of metal. They will perform a surgery to transfer the man's mind to his new metal body. Meanwhile, on television, a journalist was saying that a man who escaped from prison was known as John. He is an extremely dangerous mercenary, and Clark Kent was watching the television while Lois Lane appeared. She was investigating the case and discovered that John contracted an extremely rare disease caused by a virus. He will certainly die and won't be free for long. Clark doesn't understand how this all happened, and after all, this virus and disease only exist on a small island located in South America. Lois Lane says this is normal because John frequented various places around the planet. We see that John himself has already woken up after the surgery. He's feeling well and has never felt so good in his life. Now the tests will begin. A scientist prepared a certain machine to measure John's strength. With a simple touch of his fist, he broke all the records. He wasn't even exerting himself. When he uses a little of his power, John destroys the whole machine. They are now going to test if he can withstand a cannon shot, and he actually can. John's skin is also made of metal, meaning it's completely indestructible. But after that, the man realized an awful thing. He can't feel anything. It seems like he's controlling his own body from outside. Lex says some adjustments will be made. He doesn't need to worry about it. For now, he only has one job to do. He needs to destroy Superman. At that moment, Lex goes to lunch, and before dessert, he wants to receive the news that Superman has already been destroyed. When he heard about lunch, John realized he wasn't feeling hungry, and he hadn't eaten anything since the surgery. Lex tries to calm him down, saying that the only hunger he should feel is the hunger for revenge and power. After that, John went to a train station. The man jumped onto the train tracks, and as the train approached, John managed to stop it with his bare hands. He's so powerful that he can lift an entire train car and hurl it at the people nearby. Quickly, journalists arrived at the scene and reported the presence of a man as powerful as Superman. This man is also indestructible, and he might even be another alien. This attack began just minutes ago, and upon seeing the news reports on the television, Clark Kent knew that he had to do something about it. John was destroying everything when Superman appeared. The superhero attacked him immediately. It was such a strong blow that John crashed through the buildings, and then Superman continued attacking. The two ended up in another place, but John was not destroyed. Superman wants to know how he became so powerful, and John explained it was a simple surgery. Maybe Superman is jealous of him, but the superhero says that he is not. John is going back to prison right now. The two then began to fight, but it seems that John now has the same level of strength as Superman himself. The superhero says that he is not that strong, but at that moment, John revealed his secret weapon. In the center of his body is a kryptonite core. As soon as he opened this compartment, Superman began to feel ill. John hit him with a blow and said that now he is the true Man of Steel. Superman doesn't stand a chance of defeating him. With another blow, he flew out of that building and tried to use a steel duct to attack the man, but it didn't work. The fight continued. John threw him off the top of that building and went on to try and humiliate Superman. The man wants revenge for what happened in the past between the two of them, and at that moment a car appeared. The journalist Lois Lane came to save Superman, but he's too weak. He couldn't get inside the car, and John prevented the woman from continuing trying. He says that he's been thinking a lot about her these past few months, and then he got closer to try and kiss her. But after that, John was in shock. He felt nothing. The woman took advantage of the situation to attack him, but John could hardly believe that he can't even feel the sensation of kissing someone. These scientists did something terrible to him, and while the man was distracted, Superman got inside the car and managed to hit him with a vehicle. Superman apologized to Lois for what he did to her car, but she said it's okay, the insurance will pay for all the damages. Meanwhile, John went straight to Lex Luthor's labs. He wants adjustments immediately because he needs to regain the sensations he's no longer feeling. Luthor promised he would help him, but the scientist told him that the adjustments needed to be made by himself. He will feel this lack of senses for the rest of his life and needs to get used to it. But John says he doesn't want to get used to this kind of thing. The scientist tries to argue that the operation gave John infinite strength. He can't get sick, is completely invulnerable to any kind of injury, and will also never feel pain again in his life. But to John, what matters is that he will also never be able to feel pleasure again. The scientists said they didn't think about that, and John demanded the scientists get him another body because he needs to feel once again. But the man told him that it's impossible. The transplant is permanent. John became extremely angry about this. His entire body is fake, and he began to remove the skin that was onto his body. He is a fraud, a man of metal, and he has to accept this new reality. After that, we see that Lois Lane and Clark Kent went to the prison to interview the doctor who diagnosed John. They only found another doctor who said that the doctor received a large amount of money and simply never returned to work. This doctor, however, told them that they could search the office to see what they can find. Clark says they need to find John's weakness, but Lois Lane told them it is not their job. Superman is the one who needs to defeat John. Then the woman found a box full of used needles. Superman found something interesting inside of that box. Next, Lois Lane found a parking ticket from Lex Luthor Industries, and meanwhile, Lex Luthor himself was inside his new boat. He invited a woman to see the boat and wanted to do naughty things with her. But while they were talking, John appeared. The woman was shocked when she saw him. John asked Lex if he liked that new look, because that is the last thing he will ever see in his life. Lex wants to know if there's a problem, and John explained that he can no longer taste or smell anything. Irritated, he threw the woman off the boat and said it was all Lex's fault. The doctor already told him that there's nothing that he can do, and Lex says maybe there's nothing he can do now, but someday they will figure it out. Lex has scientists all around the world working on it. It will take time, but John doesn't need to worry because he is immortal now. John says he's going crazy and Lex is going to get him out of that place. The two must go to open sea so Lex can take John to a lab outside of the United States where they can fix his skin. John cannot forget that he still owes him Superman's life, and John himself told him they need to be patient because patience is something that both of them is going to be needing a lot. At that moment, Superman appeared. He landed on the boat and asked Lex where John was hiding. Lex Luthor told him he doesn't know, but Superman said it's only a matter of time before the police finds John, and suddenly the man appeared and hit Superman with a blow. He then revealed the kryptonite core inside his chest and once again is ready to destroy Superman. The superhero tries to keep his distance and throws a lifeboat at John, but it's not enough to defeat him. Superman starts talking to John and tries to tell him that he's being tricked by Lex. The man ignored everything and attacked Superman with a kryptonite laser. Superman fell on the ship and John hit him with such a powerful blow that sent him crashing through the ship's floors. Down below, John begins to hit Superman with many other blows, and the superhero has no way to win. Before being destroyed, Superman told John that Lex was his enemy. He's the one who did this to John. John himself confirms it. Lex Luthor saved his life from that virus. If it weren't for him, John would be dead by now. But Superman picks up a small container and says that the virus that infected him is inside of that container. The doctor in prison put the virus in John's food, and that's how he caught the rare disease. Lex planned everything. He ordered the doctor to do it. Lex himself overheard the conversation and said that Superman is delirious because of the kryptonite, but John isn't so sure about that. He then went after Lex, and the smartest man in the world tried to blame Superman for everything. He's trying to make them fight. It's impossible to even know what's inside that container, and John had an idea. He's going to test it. He wants Lex to drink the substance, but the man tried everything to avoid it. While both of them were distracted, Superman used his heat vision to set the ship on fire. It caused a huge explosion, and both Lex and John were thrown into the ocean. Lex managed to float, but John wasn't so lucky. His body is made entirely of metal, and he sank to the bottom of the ocean. Suddenly, a shark appeared and was about to devour Lex, but he was lucky enough to be saved by Superman. The superhero took him straight to his company, and Lex told him that he couldn't be blamed for anything that happened today. The virus was destroyed and John disappeared. Even if Superman found him, he would still have to worry about all that kryptonite. But Superman told him that if John ever comes back, the one who will have to worry the most will be Lex himself. After Superman left, we see that John was still alive, walking along the ocean floor. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to subscribe so I can keep on posting more videos daily for you guys. Thanks for watching.